foot, so you can't bite it off.
Welcome to The Other Dimension with the team Damon Penny, Ben Winfield, and Louisa Brown. We guide you through the supernatural, the occult, and the unexplained, answering questions that will make you question your grip of reality, with special guests guiding you through everything from demons to divination, cryptids to crystals, religion to skeptics. We explore in depth the true meaning of the unexplained. So strap in, kick back, and enjoy as we enter the other dimension.
Hello everybody and welcome along. It's The Other Dimension. It's your Friday Night Paranormal Fix. I'm your host, Damon Penny, aka the Paranormal Viking. I'm joined by my co-host, the paranormal power couple, the dark magician himself and the Lady of Light. It's the Winfields.
I know we need to change it because it still says Louisa Brown.
I know. I was like, who the hell is Louisa Brown? Big shout out to Ems. Welcome along. Tonight, guys, we are talking about Christmas, funny enough. Yeah, it's around the corner. It's only 2 days away. So, yeah. And, just to Ben's point out, I know the hat gives away our subject tonight, right? Okay. And also,
anyone wants one
tonight as well.
It's not due for next year now.
Yeah. Anyone wants one for next year, start ordering now.
Oh, Buster's
we're on pre-orders. Pre-orders only.
And yes, as Damon was about to say, this week's prize, grand prize.
Who else is on? Go on.
It's obviously tickets, 2 tickets for Haunted Museum, Stoke on Trent.
Guided tour.
Place to go.
Buster, that's my boots.
The dogs have played havoc already.
Care of you.
So,
right, everybody in bed.
Good evening to everybody.
Buster, bed.
It's all beautiful.
Big shouts out to the Tububers. Well done to you guys for joining in. So, as Ben said, we are giving away the big prize tonight. Lou will be doing that around about halfway through the show. Guys, if you do win, we are not paying for your plane tickets, your train tickets, your car fuel, anything like that. If you win, you need to get yourselves there. It's part and parcel. It's in the terms and conditions, which you cannot read because we haven't written yet. So make sure.
Not getting any sound from Hugh. Have you volumed, mate?
I do that all the time when people go, "It's not working." I went, "Have you turned it on?" We should be getting some sound, guys. Let us know. Give us a check and see if you can hear us, and let us know if you can hear us. We won't start until we know that you can hear us. If
anybody's out there, make the lights flash. Touch the cat balls.
It went out now. All right, excellent. Nico as well, and my congrats for winning the World Cup.
Oh yeah, Argentina won. Fair play to them.
It should have been an Argentina-England final, but yeah, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, the French were dirty.
Oh, filthy. Absolutely filthy. Big shout out to Jamie Appleton. Welcome along.
Friend of ours.
So tonight we are talking about Christmas from a paranormal perspective. And I know Lou's itching to get some of these things that she's researched out. So do you want to kick us off, Lou, and see where the conversation
It's not so much paranormal, it's just a bit of like background.
General information on traditions.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Start off for a little bit of traditions.
She's serious because she's got paper.
Got my papers.
Oh,
I got my things out. Right, you guys can just relax for like 20 minutes, half an hour while I go through this.
On this evening's news at 7.
Right. So, obviously a lot of people have heard of holly. Holly's in everything. Holly wreaths. Yeah, decorations. So I'm just wondering what the dogs are doing. So, did you know that in some parts of the UK, for example, holly was once referenced to merely as Christmas, and in pre-Victorian times, Christmas trees meant Holly bushes. Holly was brought into the house for its shiny green leaves and berries, which reflect the light and add colour to the dark days of Yule. But it has another significance as well. You've got the Christian symbolism, which it's more well known for being connected with its prickly leaves. And with Jesus' crown of thorns and the berries with drops of blood shed for the sake of humanity, for example. We are familiar with the Christmas carol, the holly and the ivy. Yet even here, the reference to the two plants refer to a pre-Christian celebration. A boy would be dressed in a suit of holly leaves and a girl, similarly in ivy, to parade around the village, bringing nature through the darkest part of the year to re-emerge for another year's fertility.
Can you imagine how painful that would be of holly leaves?
Yeah, it'd be like, that's like some sort of punishment from like Game of Thrones.
There are dozens of different types of holly. Virtually all of them come in male and female varieties. Female holly plants cannot have berries unless a nearby male plant pollinates them. It is easy to see why the holly wreath found its way into pagan rituals as a token of friendship and fertility. Holly was also brought into the house to protect the home from malevolent fairies or to allow fairies to shelter in the home without trouble between them and the human inhabitants. Whichever of the prickly leaves or smooth leaves holly was brought into the house first would dictate as to whether the husband or the wife was to rule the household for the coming year.
Oh, I always knew there was a reason why the Tooth Fairy didn't come on Christmas Day. I knew it wasn't because she had annual leave. I knew it.
Just a random bit of alchemy as well. Holly berries are incredibly poisonous and have been used over centuries for killing kings.
We've got a load on our bush.
So if anyone sees me go missing, just Lou's married to me. If you see me go missing, you know what's happened.
Sure.
Yes, holly berry poisoning.
In Celtic mythology, the Holly King was said to rule from the summer to the winter solstice, at which time the Oak King defeated the Holly King in order for the time until the summer solstice again. These two aspects of the nature god were later incorporated into plays traditionally performed around Yuletide. The Holly King was depicted as a mighty giant of man covered in holly leaves and branches and wielding a holly bush as a club. However, the folklore of the holly is not solely connected with Yuletide festivities. Like several other native trees, it was felt to have protective properties, and there were taboos against cutting down a whole tree. Hollies were frequently left uncut in hedges when these were trimmed. A more arcane reason for this was to obstruct witches who were known to run along the tops of hedgerows, though more practically, farmers used their distinctive evergreen shapes to establish lines in sight during winter ploughing.
Still on to this day, that is as well.
It is said that the Duke of Argyll even had a protective road rerouted to avoid cutting down a distinctive old holly in 1861.
Duke of Argyll, not a Scottish man.
It's very, as silly as that sounds as well, that is still a very farming tradition of not cutting that down, same as rain on May Day.
Yes, it's nuts, all the traditions around farming. I never would have thought it.
Although the felling of whole trees was said to bring bad luck, the taking of boughs for decoration and the coppicing of trees to provide winter fodder was permitted. Folklore suggested that the wood had an affinity for control, especially of horses, and most whips for ploughmen and horse-drawn coaches were made from coppiced holly. Holly trees were also traditionally known for protection from lightning strikes, and so they were often planted near a house. In European mythology, holly was associated with thunder gods such as Thor and Taranis. We now know that the spines of the distinctively shaped holly leaves can act as miniature lightning conductors, thereby protecting the tree and other nearby objects. So you see, science occasionally has an explanation for some things dismissed as superstitious lore.
Crazy. Also, just a little fun fact that Draco Malfoy's wand in Harry Potter was made out of Hollywood. There you go. Just put a throw out there.
Ivy also has a history of folklore connected to the vine in myth and legend, with both having the ability to change the consciousness. The ivy has, rightly or wrongly, gained a reputation for being able to undo drunkenness and can often be seen on public house signs. Ivy was dedicated to the Greek god Dionysus. Never say these things. The god of intoxication. He is usually seen with a wreath of holly on his head and holding a thyrsus or wand, which is entwined with ivy and vine leaves.
Ooh.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, Damon's gone.
I'm here. My phone is just doing some random stuff. Like it's just going. It's taking screenshots. I don't know why. It's weird. It's paranormal. It's a poltergeist.
Oh,
Oh, that was the CIA's finally found you.
Next, I shall move on to mistletoe.
Oh,
I told you I've got a few pages here.
yeah, no, it's good. It's cool. I'm learning. This is good. I like it. Every day's a school day.
What is mistletoe and why is it sacred? Mistletoe, from the Old English mistletoe, is another Christmas tradition. Most of us buy sprig from markets hang up in our homes at this time of year. However, have you ever wondered what is the story behind kissing under the mistletoe?
Yes, I do.
I'm in Brent's problem.
Don't see. What? Right, I'm going to address this now because even some of my friends that are in this chat will know. Okay, in our sort of Viking community that we all hang around in as well, it's called doing a ben. Now, this is when you inflict pain onto yourself or your brain shuts now. I just want to address this now. This is not something that needs to be kept going.
You done?
I think so.
All right. Is it purely pagan or a Christian custom? The ancient Druids believed mistletoe to be sacred. The winter solstice would be the time when Chief Druid would cut the sacred mistletoe from the oak. The mistletoe is cut using a golden sickle on the 6th night of the new moon after the winter solstice.
I'm not too specific then. It's all right.
No.
Got to be done at 5:15 in the afternoon.
Yeah. You got to spin around 3 times, spit backwards.
A cloth held below the tree by other members of the order to catch the sprigs of mistletoe as they fell, as it was believed that it would have violated the mistletoe to land on the ground. He would then divide the branches into many sprigs and distribute them to the people, who hung them over doorways as protection against thunder, lightning, and other evils. The Druids also believed that the berries of the mistletoe represented the sperm of the gods. Mistletoe was considered a magical aphrodisiac. Girls standing under a sprig of mistletoe were asking for a bit more than a kiss.
Did you say sperm of the gods?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm going to develop a new vape juice and that's what I'm going to call it.
I would not suggest eating mistletoe though, because it, again, highly poisonous.
Yeah, it might be a bit salty as well.
Yeah. Yes, right. The highly toxic plant in old folklore was used to cure many ills, and indeed the Druids believed it had miraculous properties which could cure illnesses. Serve as an antidote against poisons. How is a toxic plant used as an antidote against poisons? Ensure
psychology.
Ensure fertility and protect against the ill effects of witchcraft. Mistletoe is also a plant of peace. If enemies met by chance beneath it in a forest, they laid down their arms and maintained a truce until the next day. Right, if you can hear a high-pitched whining noise, it's the dogs. They're in the cage and they don't like my hat.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, honestly, Nala was just staring at it, making funny noises at me earlier. It's so funny.
She was literally just barking at her because of the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Anyway, don't take my hat off. I'm going to pull it off there. I was going to say it made my hair go crazy.
Yeah.
What are you doing with stuff? I must start alone.
I'm just waiting for Mario to come along and jump on her head and then to turn into Super Mario and start running off. Ben's had one too many sherbets tonight.
Anyway, this is thought to be the origin of the ancient custom of hanging a ball of mistletoe from the ceiling and exchanging kisses under it as a sign of friendship and goodwill.
Oh, yeah. Kissing's a sign of friendship, obviously, yeah. 100%.
Anglo-Saxons believe that kissing under the mistletoe was connected to the legend of Freya, goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. According to legend, a man had to kiss any young girl who, without realizing it, found herself accidentally under a sprig of mistletoe hanging from a ceiling.
So
Accident.
like we're talking about like just complete violations, like old school violations.
If a couple in love exchange a kiss under the mistletoe, it is interpreted as a promise to marry, as well as a prediction of happiness and long life.
Mum, we're getting rid of the mistletoe.
Interesting to note that mistletoe was excluded from church decorations, probably due to its connection with the Druids and its pagan and magical associations. This ancient ban on mistletoe is still widely observed even today. Okay. Yeah.
More health and safety reasons now.
That's crazy when you think about it. So we're talking about mistletoe. So mistletoe is a poison that can cure an antidote. It's like a sign of peace. If you kiss underneath it, you get married, and it's also sperm of the gods.
Yes.
It's like the best plant ever made.
Oh, dear. Right. This one confused Ben a bit. The poinsettia plant. The poinsettia plant. Do you have that in your house? The poinsettia plant.
Is that the red one? Is that the red one? Oh, right. Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah. Do you know where it comes from?
They're doing them for $5 at Morrison's at the moment.
Ben, get me one.
It's a cold down the road and just buy one.
Oh, fine. But yeah, do you know where they are natively grown?
It's poinsettia, right? So that sounds either Italian or Spanish.
No.
Spanish.
Well, yeah, but other side of the country.
No offense to anyone that's
Mexico.
Yeah. No offense to anyone that's Mexico, but I thought no, your language was just being referred to as pig Latin, so I apologise.
No. Yeah. Apparently, whether it's true or not, but this is what the internet came up with. An old Mexican legend tells the story of a poor Mexican girl called Pepita, who had no present to give the baby Jesus at the Christmas Eve celebrations. As Pepita walked to the chapel, sadly, her cousin Pedro tried to cheer her up. Pepita, he said, I'm sure that even the smallest gift given by someone who loves him will make Jesus happy. Pepita didn't know what she could give, so she picked a small handful of weeds from the roadside and made it into a small bouquet. She felt embarrassed because she could only give this little present to Jesus. As she walked through the chapel to the altar, she remembered what Pedro had said. She began to feel better, knelt, and put the bouquet at the bottom of the nativity scene. Suddenly, the bunch of weeds burst into bright red flowers, and everyone who saw them was sure they had seen a miracle. From that day on, the red flowers were known as the Flores de Nochebuena, or flowers of the Holy Night.
Oh, that's a Christmas miracle.
The shape of the poinsettia flowers and leaves are sometimes thought to symbolize the Star of Bethlehem, which led the wise men to Jesus. The red leaves symbolize the blood of Christ. The white leaves represent his purity. Interesting, this folklore story is also told of the Helleborus niger, the Christmas rose, which incidentally is not a rose at all, but a hellebore, elegant name. It too has many legends attached to it. Some say it first sprang from the tears of a young shepherd girl who had no gift to give to Jesus in Bethlehem. So again, kind of similar story there about flowers to the baby Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm confused, right? Because I'm sure there was only 3 wise men that turned up to give them presents, and it was gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Yeah, no, this is later on.
This is later on. Not
How
as in...
long was he a baby for?
No, not when he was a baby. This is like, people worship him hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
How sort of things came about.
So he was a baby for 100 years?
Not pure.
No, when people make nativity sets in churches.
Yeah. That's what we're about.
Yeah, you normally get the young kid that chucks the baby into the audience. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Charles, if you knew how mistletoe is positing
That's true. You would not stand under it.
Yeah.
And did you put this comment up because this comment makes me happy?
Can I just say, with what Charles just said, right, the fact that he used the word deposited into host makes me understand how bad it probably is.
Oh, okay.
Let's just say it's considered good luck in this country for some bizarre reason.
But there's loads of things of good luck. You know, if you're treading dog poo as you're walking down the road, they're like, oh, you got loads of good luck. Yeah, but now I've got to go and clean my trainers. That's great.
Right.
Yeah, we get it on site when people walk just randomly off subject, is when people go, oh, it's superstitious to walk under a ladder. Well, it's bad luck. Well, yeah, if we're working above and I drop a hammer, yeah, it's going to be bad luck. So don't walk under the ladder.
Oh.
Moving on.
Okay.
Yes.
Christmas trees. Most of us will put a tree up in our homes, but the first Christmas trees came to Britain sometime in the 1830s. They became very popular in 1841 when Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's German husband, had the Christmas tree set up in Windsor Castle. However, the original legends originate from Germany, and one such story goes like this. Once on a cold Christmas Eve night, a forester and his family were in their cottage, gathered around the fire to keep warm. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. When the forester opened the door, he found a poor little boy standing on the doorstep, lost and alone. The forester welcomed him into his house, and the family fed and washed him and put him to bed in the youngest son's own bed. He had to share with his brother that night. The next morning, Christmas morning, the family were woken by a choir of angels, and the poor little boy had turned into Jesus.
Hallelujah.
It's a bit random, this, you know. The Christ child went into the front of the garden of the cottage and broke a branch off a fir tree and gave it to the family as a present to say thank you for looking after him. Ever since then, people have remembered that night by bringing a Christmas tree into their homes. I just thought I'll put that in there because it's a bit of a different story that I'd never heard of before. I don't think anyone has, because everyone kind of, you get like the whole traditional thing of the tree is, you know, you bring it in to like, you know, for little folk and stuff. And then, yeah, they did become more popular like in the 1830s, but then there's just this random story about a poor boy suddenly turning into Jesus in Germany.
Well, at least he didn't turn to baby Jesus and end up being 100 years old in Mexico. Hi, Jack.
Hi.
Well, while Bill, where are you doing, buddy? I've got Jacqueline in.
What's happening, Billski? You all right, mate? Sorry, that's an Essex thing. My bad.
Oh, okay, we have asked a long bloody list.
Do you want me to read that one out? Kate
Go
says, can I do a cheeky shout out, guys? Dark Territory Paranormal Group have a new episode out tonight at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Definitely worth a watch. My name may pop up in the end credits. Researcher. All right. Well done. But you shouldn't be plugging on our show. That's bang out of order, bruv.
Okay, I will get in touch with him as well because I know you've been telling me to get in touch with him. So I will get in touch with him when I get a chance.
What's this here? I never realised the boss's accent was so strong.
Thank you so much, Lou, for all the info. I've learned a lot. Have we got more?
Yes, she's got more. She's got loads.
I've got a couple of pages left.
All right, okay. I'm going to make coffee.
Yeah,
She's got
a few bits of website and stuff, and you know.
Have you got the story about where Santa's buried?
No.
I'll say that one for the end then.
Yeah.
just to destroy the mood out of all this. Like, yeah, Christmas. Yeah. By the way, do you know where Santa is buried?
Santa is dead.
I've got another little, just short bit of story here about St. Boniface and the Christmas oak. Saying that
Saint Boniface.
Yeah.
Who was Saint Boniface? Who was Saint Boniface?
He was a saint.
Well, that's obvious.
Do some
like,
research.
I was expecting you to do it, Lou, for God's
I
sake.
can't say anything because I was literally about to look up for you to get the information, and I was looking for my phone. Yeah, I'm using the phone as.
Yeah,
I know.
There is backup, have you?
I reckon if I type Saint Boniface into Google, I don't really want to see what actually comes up in the search result.
Oh, this is a little story about St. Boniface and the Christmas oak.
There you go, Jacko. There's a St. Boniface down on the Isle of Wight.
Oh,
we're going to Devon for this. St. Boniface of Credition, a village in Devon, left England and travelled to Germany to preach to the pagan German tribes and convert them to Christianity. He is said to have come across a group of pagans about to sacrifice a young boy while worshipping an oak tree. In anger and to stop the sacrifice, St. Boniface is said to have cut down the oak tree and, to his amazement, a young fir tree sprang up from the roots of the oak tree.
and turned into baby Jesus.
That's what I'm expecting. St. Boniface took this as a sign of the Christian faith, and his followers decorated the tree with candles so that St. Boniface could preach to the pagans at night. Traditionally, before the introduction of electric fairy lights, candles would be used to light the Christmas tree. That was just a bit of a random story.
I'm really disappointed. Nothing turns into Jesus.
Just because it's a bit random. It's just like vague connections to Christmas.
How many house fires do you reckon it used to be? The fact that it would be, if we've got an evergreen, we're going to stick some candles on it.
That's such an English thing to do.
Right. Have you heard of the Christmas spider?
No.
Neither had I.
I don't like spiders, so I'm not going to read any story about spiders.
This is the legend of the Christmas spider.
The legend of the Christmas spider. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm all ears now.
We decorate our trees with many things, and one of the stories told is that of tinsel and the legend of the Christmas spider. Ooh. These tales seem to have started in eastern Germany or Ukraine, but are also told in parts of Finland and Scandinavia. All the versions of the story involve a poor family who can't afford to decorate a tree for Christmas. In some versions, the tree grew from a pine cone in their house. In others, the family brought a tree into the house. When the children go to sleep on Christmas Eve, a spider covers the tree in cobwebs. Then, on Christmas morning, the cobwebs are magically turned into silver and gold strands, which decorate the tree. Some versions of the story say that it's the light of the sun which changed the cobwebs into silver and gold. But other versions say it's St. Nicholas / Santa Claus / Father Christmas, which made the magic happen. In parts of Germany, Poland, and Ukraine, it's meant to be good luck to find a spider or a spider's web on your Christmas tree. Oh. Apparently, spider's web Christmas tree decorations are popular in Ukraine, and they are called.
Go on, Ben.
See what he does to me now.
He's got to get his reading glasses.
Have you checked?
Which means little spider. And the decorations are typically made of paper and silver wire.
Ah, and then the little spider turns into baby Jesus. No, I never knew that story. I never knew that, and now I feel enlightened that I know that a spider is responsible for tinsel.
Yeah, I've heard something about spider's web being tinsel, but I never knew it's quite such a actual thing. Yeah. I'm on my last paper now. You'll be glad to know.
Are you in the last one now?
Yeah.
No, right. It's cool. Like I'm like Christmas is. Everyone just takes Christmas for granted. They don't actually sit there and understand that Christmas is completely full of traditions that none of us actually know about. So it's quite cool.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a dumb cake?
A dumb cake? Yeah, I have actually heard of a dumb cake.
So this is dumb cakes and other Christmas Eve traditions. Mm-hmm. There were lots of superstitions in the UK that said girls could find out the initials or even have visions of the person they would marry on Christmas Eve. So I've gone silly now. This was often done by cooking a special cake called a dumb cake. You were supposed to make the cake in silence and prick your initials into the top. When you went to bed, you left the cake by the fire hearth, and your true love was supposed to come in at midnight and prick his initials into yours.
You would be so disappointed, right? Seriously, just to put this out here, you'd be so. Okay, yeah, I get the euphemism, by the way. You'd be so disappointed if you spent ages making this cake in complete silence, putting your name, the initials in the top, right? You put it by the hearth, you go to bed, you come downstairs, and Santa has munched the whole thing. You'd be like, what the hell?
Oh, dear. Other Christmas Eve superstitions included that farm and wild animals would kneel at midnight to honour Jesus being born, or that they could even talk. So wait for my animals to talk. Elves have.
What about daylight savings for that?
I don't know.
What if they've got no knees? How are they going to kneel?
What animals don't have knees?
Chickens don't have knees. Chickens don't have knees.
Still able to bend the legs, aren't they, in places?
No, they don't. They just have one straight bit and they sort of walk like this, that sort of thing. They don't have knees.
Moving on to elves.
Elves.
Elves are seen initially to be the creation of Germanic paganism, who thought them to be the creatures of light who lived in the heavens. I don't know where that come from. Because I hadn't heard of that before.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a sub-race of angelics.
Oh, I thought they were just, other little elementals. I didn't realise they were the race of angelics.
Yeah, supposed to be.
I just thought they were them little things that just cause like craziness when the kids go to bed.
No, they're supposed to be the sub-breed of the trent.
You see, I told you they don't have knees. Even Hugh said it. They squat. They don't bend their knees. They don't kneel. You don't go to a cow, kneel. It just drops in it.
Knees.
They don't have knees.
Cows have knees. They just choose not to use them.
Yeah, but chickens definitely don't have knees. 100%. They don't have knees. They don't. You get like right. I'm looking at this from a perspective of food, right? You don't get chicken knee soup. You get chicken foot soup.
Yeah, but buffaloes don't have wings.
Yeah.
That's on the same path as logic that you said.
Yeah, but even I'm not even going to go there. Chickens don't have fingers, but you could buy chicken fingers.
No, it's fish fingers.
And fish don't have fingers either, do they, Lou?
All right. Let me just go through this quick, because I need to go and check on Evie a second.
Okay.
So I said that halfway through the show, but I'll nip up and check on her. Because she's having the soak in the bath, and if it goes cold, I'm going to top it up with a kettle of water for her.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah. She's got a bath bomb in there. She's trying to enjoy being relaxing, because she's had a week of just being ill. Yeah, elves have been depicted as male or female, tiny dwarf-like, youthful and immortal with magical powers. Later, they were often referred to as living underground in forests, springs and wells. Elves generally were magical beings who could control what people see as well as experience. We know that in American Christmas folklore, Santa has elves working alongside him. But did you know that in Clement Clarke Moore's 1823 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, more commonly known today as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, Santa Claus himself is described in line 45 as he was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf. Before the influence of St. Nicholas in Sweden, the job of giving out gifts was done by the Yule goat.
You spend way too much time on the farm, mate. I'm telling you.
Right, that'll do. Anyway, I shall depart after you can, talk about your fish fingers and your buffalo wings.
I think, I just send a big shout out to Emma. I think she's just sent me a picture of the fact that chickens do have knees.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably. She's one of them, isn't she? She's been a Grinch. She's been a proper Grinch tonight. She's like, I don't like Christmas or anything. Right, guys. So there's some fun facts here. We want to know if you guys have got any Christmas traditions or anything that you want to add to that. But we are going to be running a competition very, very soon. I think it's my turn. I think I'm gonna talk about what I know about Christmas.
You can talk about dead
No,
Santa.
no, the Santa, Saint Nicholas, was not from Europe. He was Turkish.
Yep.
Saint Nicholas of Lyra, he was, and I tell you what, I will congratulate anybody in the chat room who can tell me where he's buried. And it's not somewhere where you would think, seriously.
McDonald's car park.
No, and it's not Atlantis either. Before you have another guess.
I was going to say KFC car park, but that was Richard III defining.
M saying my tradition is eat, drink, and sleep.
Pretty much.
That I see. She's putting that down to a Christmas tradition. I think that's Emma pretty much most of the time.
No, that was our Christmas tradition.
Oh yeah. We always play like games. Our little Christmas, we always play games. Normally Monopoly comes out. It gets very aggressive. I don't know if anyone's ever seen an aggressive game of Monopoly, but all you got to do is watch it in our house. It gets very aggressive.
Oh, buried in Turkey.
Nope. He's not buried in Turkey. Saint Nicholas of Lyra. I think Lyra actually gives you a bit of a clue. Myra, that's it, not Lyra.
Good, Jamie. Bang, back of the net.
I don't think anyone else can have a guess. Shall I tell you where he's buried?
Go on then.
Saint Nicholas of Myra, the story goes, he was the original Santa because he was a very well-off priest and he used to walk around at Christmas time giving golden coins to the poor children. He died in Turkey. His body was shipped to Ireland and he's now buried at St. Nicholas's Church in Ireland in the county of County Clare.
There you go.
Yeah, true story.
Nice.
True story.
Boom.
So, that's a good one. Right, so let's read this. Group of ecstatic archaeologists uncovered the burial spot of St. Nicholas, inspiration. He's been on Wikipedia again. Burial spot of St. Nicholas, inspiration for Santa Claus. Archaeologists uncovered the Christian bishop's tomb amongst the ruins of the prehistoric Christian Orthodox Church in Myra, Turkey. Mediterranean. But he was moved from there to Ireland, and that is true. I know because I visited his gravestone.
Bill was just laughing at you.
He knows it, yeah, because Bill is missed. He likes a little bit of Wikipedia. He does. So right, we're just going to wait for Lou to come back. We're going to run in competition. The prize tonight is one that I cannot stress enough. It is absolutely amazing. It is 2 tickets to visit a very, very good friend of ours, a sponsor of the show. It's visit the Stoke-on-Trent Museum, Haunted Museum. Like Ben's been there a lot of times. I've seen pictures of it. It is amazing. They have a conjuring room. Like it's so cool. I remember being on FaceTime to Ben once, and he was doing a talk there, and he was actually, when he was doing a talk, he was standing on the stage, and the audience was sitting on actual church pews.
Yep, he actually got them from a church. There is some really good artifacts there. There is also the Devil's Toy Box from the Wales case that we dealt with. That is there. They are researching that. If you want to learn more about that, go over to their sub page. It's not a waste of money whatsoever. It's the best thing you can actually do. They do so much for it.
So are we going to stick with tradition with the whole competition winners? So are we going to do the emojis?
Is that what you want to do? Do you want to do the emoji? Yeah.
Right,
I
guys,
will, however, take this moment to just obviously break a bit of bad news that we have had this week. A very, very, very good friend of the show. She helped us from the beginning, pretty much. Her name is Kathy Adams. Sadly passed. I think it was it was Monday, wasn't it? She will be incredibly, incredibly missed. She was a brilliant part of this show. I can't even stress the amount of words to describe what a beautiful person she was. And her daughter, again, Jade, is a massive member of this group, massive member of
Yeah.
this family, and always will be.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's life, and she will be missed massively.
100%. Previous guest on the show, Kathy, just it's such a shock when I read it. I was just like, wow. Like, she will be really, really missed on the show. And honestly, condolences going out to all the family on that one. So
Yeah.
I'm never good in this scenario. That's the problem with me. I never know
No,
what
I
to
know.
say.
I wanted to obviously just say it now because she has been a massive part of the show since the beginning, and she will
Yeah.
be very missed.
Yeah.
Definitely a terrible sense of humour with the rest of it. But
Darren,
she
if you
will
want to
be.
talk about honestly, like this is typical Damon, right? I'm the worst person. I always pull out the stupidest jokes, right, at the most stupidest moments. I was going to a friend's funeral once, and there was a car full of us, and we was all really, really upset. And then as we drove through the gates of the cemetery, my idea at that time was to literally turn around to my friends and go, "God, it's packed in. Everyone's dying to get in here, isn't it?" And that went down like the Titanic. So it was bad. It was bad. So yeah, I'm not very good in this scenario, but yeah. Right. Competition time. So guys, you have literally got a minute. If you want to be involved in the competition, stick your emojis in the chat. They've got to be Christmas emojis. I don't want no cucumbers or aubergines or whatever they are. Right? They've got to be Christmas emojis in the chat if you want to win 2 tickets. And we totally forgot about this. Your very own Todd.
Yeah, you get a Todd.
Todd as always.
Winners get a Todd.
Winners get a Sweeney.
Don't knock everything else off. Yeah, your little Todd.
Oh, that's so cool.
They're
They're like the coolest things ever.
Yeah, eventually we'll all actually get one ourselves.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll get back at it, shall I?
Yeah.
Instead of knitting stupid Christmas hats, you should be knitting us a Todd.
Actually, I've had someone else place an order for 2 more Todds. So I'll be doing theirs for 4 hours.
So go on, guys, get your. Oh, bloody hell, Jacko. Just about to say it.
That is a way in which you can guarantee that you're going to win a competition using emojis. Oh my God.
Jacko's down on the Isle of Wight. I believe you're down on the Isle of Wight. I may be wrong.
Oh, Annette's in there. Oh, the racist guy.
Keep it goes.
Go on, guys. You've got another 3 minutes.
3 minutes? It starts off as a minute, and now it's got to 3 minutes.
Yeah, we count upwards, not backwards.
Is it only one entry? No, just keep putting the entries in. Keep putting the entries in. Because what we'll do is Ben will scroll it up and down, and I'll just put my finger on it.
Big shouts out to Cody. We will get to that question after we run the competition. That's a very, very good question.
Yeah, those who want to enter, keep putting the entries in. Spam the feed.
Yeah, spam it. Spam it. Oh, we're talking about Christmas traditions while people are spamming the hell out of the chat room. One of our massive Christmas traditions is watching The Grinch at Christmas. You know, the one with Jim Carrey. Right? Have you seen on TikTok? There's a guy that dresses up as the Grinch, as Jim Carrey, just does random things. He is amazing. The guy is so funny.
Go on, guys, get your entrances in quick.
Jesus Christ.
Jacko's on a mission to win this.
Wild Bill. Bill, we're not paying for your flights. We're not paying for your flights. It doesn't come in with it. You know
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, Ben. Stop moving it up and down. Now close your eyes.
Oh, gosh, try and bloody.
Just move it.
Oh. Look at the concentration on Lou's face, even though she can't see.
It's Jacko.
I'm not surprised with all that. He was determined.
Jacko Hillbilly, come on down. You are our grand prize winner. And you've won a new car. No, I'm joking.
The other dimension is not buying new cars.
Yeah,
Jacko, congratulations.
Nolan, quiet. Okay.
Yep. Now you got to try and work your way up the country to come and visit.
Yeah. Everyone says that. Everyone says they never win. And all our winners have won.
That happened last week when we done it last week. And we picked the winner. They're like, oh my God, I've never won anything in my life.
Okay.
So, Jacko, contact the show after the show, and we will sort out the tickets for you and the address, and we'll get the Tods posted off. Or Ben and Lou will get the Tods posted off to you, and they will sort you out the tickets.
No, if he's coming up to Stoke anyway, we can meet him somewhere because it's not far away from us.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, don't trust Royal Mail at the
Coffee
moment.
with us.
Yeah, you get to sit and meet us.
Look at that. See what I mean? We'll talk about big prizes.
No,
So, oh, right, we had a question to answer, didn't we? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Right, Cody Howe says, do you think the other dimensions are separate from ours or part of one whole? This is what I mean. This is a really good question. We've been asked if we think that there are other dimensions, how many there are, and whether they exist or not. But he's actually asking in the sense of, do we think that they are separate or do we think it's part of one whole?
I've always been taught and always understood it as it being a whole, but with different frequencies, should we say? If we take it on the plane of frequencies, obviously you have different frequencies existing within certain sections. So I would say it is as a whole, but then obviously there's the mixture in it.
Yeah,
so
like you said, it's different frequencies.
Yeah, like having a cake, but all the ingredients are in there mixed up together to make the cake.
Yeah. It's how we're able to access and how we're able to communicate with spirits is the fact that all of them intertwine. Like Ben said, it's a cake mixture. And another good point to point out as well when it comes to seeing it as a whole, a lot of belief systems believe it as layers as well, almost like Ben said, layers of a cake. And we are said here on earth to be the highest level of hell, but the lowest level of heaven. So basically, bang in the middle.
Yeah.
So
very much. Same
that's
as
a cool question, though.
Same with Nordic beliefs. We're said to be the middle.
Yeah. Because they have the Nordic beliefs have 7 realms, don't they? Including Asgard, Jotunheim, Svartalfheim. There's a fair few of them. And I can't remember what I can't remember what they call where we are. It's
Midgard.
Midgard, yeah. And you have to go down the Rainbow Road that's protected by the god. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the Bifrost.
That's it. That is it. So, guys, Christmas time. Do you have any traditions or do you know any facts about Christmas? Get them up there in the chat room. It'll be great to hear you guys and what you've done and your research, like Lou's done. She spent ages researching.
Is there that one?
You
missed Santa's buried.
Oh.
He's buried in Ireland. Buried in Ireland.
Where?
In County Clare.
Why?
Because he's dead.
Really?
He was originally buried in Turkey, and then his body was desecrated and moved to Ireland, and now he's buried in the Church of St. Nicholas in County Clare in Ireland.
Look, Buster's headbutted the thing. Okay, I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Love this community, sending you all positive vibes.
No,
that's it. See, Jacko's got it right. Heimdall, that's where we live.
Well, Phil.
Midgard. Oh, no, Heimdall was the guardian of the Rainbow Road.
That's it, Damon.
I knew that. Buried in Turkey. Don't go there, Bill. Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Jacko, this is the guardian, I believe. Yeah, Heimdall is said to be one of the guardians between the realms. Yeah.
Oh, heard of Chiritos oil traveling down the spinal cord and traveling up again. Said to be where the resurrection came from and Santa bringing presents down the chimney. Juicy Christmas rabbit hole. I've never ever heard of that one ever. That's a new one. That's a new one on me. That's almost as new as the fact that mistletoe is referred to as sperm of the gods.
You're obsessed with that now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
no,
good thing.
it's like it's if plants were Pokemon, I would pick mistletoe because it would just defeat them all. Do you know what I mean? It's like the world's best Pokemon. It's like the Charizard of the plant world.
Although
Things
it
that make you
make
go,
you go,
a lot of things make me go, A
I
lot
just
of
really
things make me go,
see. I have to admit, put my hands up. I don't really know a lot on Christmas myths and legends and that lot. So Lou's outdone me this time.
I'm a bit of a bar humbug when it comes to Christmas. I believe it's a lot of money
What the
spent
hell?
out.
You can't.
Don't
The
get me
dog
wrong,
just
right?
literally jumped on me to bark at me because she doesn't like my hat.
You have to take it off, Lou. Otherwise, she's gonna go mad. She's gonna go mad.
All I know is like that he used to be green until Coca-Cola came about, and then they made him red so that everyone associated him as red with the brand Coca-Cola.
Oh, talking about associations of Christmas. When we was younger, what adverts used to make you think of Christmas time, apart from the Coca-Cola advert?
I still have rules. It's not Christmas until I've seen the advert.
Yeah.
And I've heard Pogue's Fairy Tale in New York.
See, I used to remember when I was younger, I knew it was Christmas when the Toys R Us advert used to come on telly with the little giraffe. That was the one for me, the Toys R Us advert. But we always used to, where I used to live in London, that we used to live like quite close to like a main road that travels all the way into London, and you always used to have the Coca-Cola lorry that used to go down there.
Ben, get the dog's bum out my face.
Right, what was that say? Kate says, what did your parents say about Santa getting in the house if you didn't have a chimney? The alternatives were always creative. Oh, mine told me that Santa had a skeleton key that fit every lock in the whole world.
Yep.
I was told he had the key to the patio door.
It didn't really matter to me. I was always on the naughty list anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
My mum always told me it was a skeleton key.
Yeah.
I remember making a prime example. Skeleton key.
Joe, one of the most creative stories I've heard about how Santa gets in the house is he has. So I remember parents. While reading this online, one parent told their child that he has magical dust that can shrink him into something that's smaller than a grain of sand, so he's able to fit underneath the door.
Yeah, one way.
What's that? Never Xmas for me until Fairy Tale New York. Oh, that's that Pogue song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one where you get.
Yeah, I'm not very Christmassy at all.
Yeah. The one where I can't issue the word on Facebook because I keep getting bans for it.
Here we know it's Christmas time when the Mariah Carey. I hate Mariah Carey. Oh, I really do. I have seen him dressed in purple on old Christmas cards.
Yeah, it was.
Ain't that a pagan belief system?
It's because purple was a very rich colour.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like a lot of it only changed when Coca-Cola came around, and they literally Coca-Cola took over Christmas. Everything that we associate with Christmas that's red is just purely because of Coca-Cola.
Have you seen this comment? Jamie Appleton says, already, apparently the fatso and so able to squeeze through the letterbox. Well, if you get down a chimney, you could get through a letterbox, couldn't he, really?
Oh, that's just evil, man. I've told Iana that my
really
mum is an elf and that she
That's why she wraps her in.
Yeah.
I was also told by Marnie that Santa, you could only order presents from Santa that were available in the Argos catalogue. Oh, this is a big one. Joins me as one. This is one of the lesser known Christmas myths, but to be honest, it would be pretty cool if true. The story goes that Samish shamans in Scandinavia would dress in red and white to match the colours of the psychedelic amanita mushrooms that peddled. In the winter, they could make their door-to-door sales due to snowstorms blocking many doors. So they would climb in through the chimney. The mushrooms would then be hung to dry, for example, on branches of trees brought inside for that purpose.
No.
I reckon he's made that up.
It might be a myth, but if it's a myth, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's really cool, actually. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I know that one. Kate, purple was Queen Victoria's favourite colour, hence why Cadbury's Cadbury's chocolate wrap is pebble.
I did not even know that. I just
It's
thought that the
also-
Cadbury's. Go on, mate.
It's also the reason we associate black with death.
All right, okay.
Until Victoria, no one bothered with like wearing black at a funeral. It was only when she was grieving after her husband died that we all started wearing black at funerals.
I honestly thought the reason why Cadbury's chocolate was purple is because they was trying to mug off the milk tray man.
No,
Yeah.
a lot of things that we have now all come from Queen Victoria.
Oh, that's another good one. Look at this. Look, Cody's coming up with the big questions tonight. What's the last piece of esoteric knowledge that blew your mind?
I've got to think really far back.
The last bit that blew my mind was finding out that the bloodline of Gilgamesh is actually related to the Nephilim. Because I mean that really blew my mind, because the whole book of Enoch where it talks about the Nephilim, and people like sort of sit there and say it's not true, and then when they actually tested the line of Gilgamesh, they found Nephilim and Aphalim blood DNA within his blood, which is nuts. That blew my mind.
I think it have to be realizing that America actually tried and succeeded in turning lead into gold. And that it required a nuclear power plant to produce about 2 grams.
Oh,
I don't think it was so much the fact that it was done. It was more the fact of America just like being able to just go, wow, you guys actually sat there and tried this with a nuclear power plant.
But only Americans would try that, not being horrible to Wild Bill.
No disrespect to Wild Bill, but come on, your country is brilliant for just going, do you know what? Let's try this. Let's just sod everything and we're going to try this.
only the American guys, without being horrible, but only the American guys would sit there and make a whole film about a guy that ate Big Macs for the whole of his life and then nearly died.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the shoe. I forget you live out there as well. And sorry, buddy. But yeah. Full credit to the American guys, because they literally just go, do you know what? Let's try this.
Yeah, they are the kings of square pegs and round holes.
Oh yeah, like we're not laying into Americans now, but you guys have had some of the best inventions. It's like your prize invention in my eyes is when your country designed the Thompson machine gun. You didn't design it for warfare. You didn't design it for anything like that. You designed it for cutting down trees. That's the brilliantness of it all.
Yeah, I told you, square pegs, round holes. And this is not a slur, right? But it's not taking the mickey, because without people that try and fit square pegs in round holes, you'll never get anywhere in life. And America are the best at square pegs and round holes. They always have been, 100%.
It's
100%.
That's my wow fact there when I found that out. It's just like, yeah, we're not going to bother with a chainsaw. We're just going to shoot the hell out of a tree and see if it falls over. Thus created the Thompson.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, no, we don't need an axe. We can do this twice as efficiently without having to exert ourselves at all.
And then we get the 50 cal so we can cut down with
one round.
See, I've seen a friend of mine out there who he hunts with a 50 cal rifle, and I've never forgot him saying that he shot a wild boar with one and it just shook it off and carried on walking. So he found it later on dead, but he said he just shook it off and walked off.
That's when you know that you're that hard, your nightmares are scared of you.
Yeah.
So, right, guys, we are coming to the end of the show. We just want to wish everybody a really happy Christmas. I hope you enjoy time with family, enjoy time with friends.
Yep.
Don't eat too much. You know, you're statistically more likely to gain weight over Christmas than you are any time of the year, by the way.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Just because you're stuck on 1,800 calorie over Christmas and you got to
It's
sit down
working.
with everyone else to eat the food.
It's working. It is working. I'm telling you, it's working 100%. Yeah, obviously, Emma, you are definitely eating too much, 100%. I did see a documentary. Monks built a temple supposedly using sound waves.
Yep.
Joe. What that sounds like a subject that's right up your street, Ben.
Yep, I can. I'll tell you what. In the new year, I'll do a subject about it. It's the same with India. It's to do with the chanting, the same as the Buddhists using that one. It's also one theory of how they built the pyramids by using sound waves.
The pyramids were built by giants and dinosaurs and aliens and robots. So that's I'm not even going to go over this.
And the baby Jesus.
Yeah, and they all held hands at the end around the pyramid, and they all turned into baby Jesus.
Yeah. Have an amazing first Christmas married, Ben and Lou, and Merry Christmas, David. Have a fabulous time. That's how the pyramids were built, and the statues on Easter Island.
That's where the rabbit lives, on Easter Island. The Easter bunny lives over there. Yeah, definitely, 100%. And then what happens is every Easter he turns into baby Jesus. Joe, what? Jacko just put that up. I literally heard this today.
Did you hear Dave Icke has a new book show about ley lines and dragon lines, which I've never heard of before? What are your thoughts on David Icke? I would tell you my thoughts on David Icke, but then I would get banned off Facebook completely and utterly for eternity.
In a nice way, the guy's a nutcase, but he's been right about a lot of things.
This is the guy that walked. Does anyone? This is a question for everyone. I know we're going a bit over time, but does anyone know where he first got his knowledge from? Well, his first little inkling of knowledge.
No idea. Or no idea.
Yeah.
David Icke's one of the people I hear online, and I start listening to him, and I think, you are two screws short of a rocking horse, my friend.
This is the guy that apparently got the information told to him by a god whilst he was buying a newspaper in a corner shop. That's no word of a lie. The guy can go and do a 3-hour talk with no paperwork whatsoever, and he'll never give the same talk because I've seen people go to his conventions, listen to him talk, then go to the following one the week after and ask him the same questions. He comes up with different answers and can't remember the answers he's given the first time.
Legend.
In the cultology world, so like cultology rings and stuff like that, he is he's basically our Piers Morgan. We just laugh at him.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
So yeah, that's the best I can put without getting shut off from Facebook ever.
Right, so we have come to the end of the show, guys. Thank you so much for locking in. Honestly, from us here at the Other Dimension, we want to wish you an absolutely brilliant Christmas. Hope you guys really enjoy it. Don't get too fat. Don't eat too much. I hope you get what you want. And just remember, Santa has a skeleton key, yeah? So don't mess about. All right, guys and girls? But anyway, from me, it's goodbye for tonight. And from Ben and Lou,
bye.
And just always remember, guys, if there is no other explanation, there is always the other dimension. Take care, good night, and Merry Christmas.